Now, of course, once you've written your articles and you've got them back from the transcriptionist, you've checked the quality of them, obviously. You've checked them, you made sure they're okay, you made sure they're broken into paragraphs and they look good. What you're going to do next is you need to start using them. Now, obviously, we talked about some of the uses for them, and what we're just going to talk about here is submitting them to article directories. Now, you can see here, if I type in article directory, there's just one or two article directories here. In fact, there's hundreds of them. Now, what I would recommend is probably just some of the ones that appear in the top 10 here. These are worth submitting to manually. You know, I would recommend pick 3 or 4 Go articles, article dashboard, and a few others. Submit to those manually. If you're going to submit to any of the other ones, don't bother doing it manually. It's going to take too much time for too little return. Use their automatic submission, like something like submityourarticle.com. Now, one way of determining which article directories to look at is when you're looking at your niche, you're going to Google, you type in the keyword, see what article directories come up. Those are usually going to be good ones for you to target. So that's what you do. As I said, most of the article directories won't rank well enough to be worth a manual submission. There's 3 or 4 that get enough traffic that are worth doing. Now, one of those is articlebase.com. Now, there are certain article directories which seem to be in favour with sites such as Google. Now, Articlebase is one of them. It tends to rank fairly well. Usually this is because the article directories have a very, very stringent set of criteria for the articles. So this is one that I would definitely submit to manually. You can register, sign up, and off you go. But you can see there's lots of different articles here. And lots of different authors and so on and so forth. But what I've found in my experimentation, if you like, is that these articles do appear pretty well in the search engines for the keywords. I've had some of these articles from this site ranking above other article directories and even being in sort of the top position. So very, very powerful article directory, I do believe. Now, on top of this, the other one that is well worth using is EasyInArticles.com. EasyInArticles is another one that is very powerful and very loved by Google. Now, the only thing with EasyInArticles is they are very, very strict about what they let in. They have a very good reputation, and that is because they have every single article that goes in here is manually checked. Every article is reviewed by a human to meet their criteria. If it doesn't meet their criteria, it is rejected immediately. So you do need to be aware of that. However, I know that's a bit of a pain, it really is, and it can be quite frustrating sometimes attempting to get your articles ranking. However, it is well worth doing because you will make money from it. The reason EasyInArticles is good is because the articles rank well and the article directory itself gets a lot of traffic. People will, if I show you, let's have a read of this one about the fear of the dark, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. It does get a lot of traffic naturally from people that find articles in the search engines, and what you can find is you can often get decent traffic yourself from other people's articles. Okay, so what we're actually looking for here, if we scroll down, now you see people will come in, they see the advert, the article here. You can see there's lots of adverts around, which is a little bit distracting, but that's how EasyInArticles makes their money. But if we scroll down, you can see when we get past these articles and more adverts, we get to this section here. You got the most recent in the category, the most viewed, and the most published. And what you will find is if you can get on any of these lists, you will get a reasonable amount of traffic from it. A lot of people read the article, scroll down, and then look for other related articles here that they want to speak to, look at. So you can get lots of traffic from that. Now, if you are going to use EasyInArticles, then you have to read the author terms of service and the editorial guidelines. Yes, I know it's a bit boring to do, but if you don't do it, you will suffer. Now, when you start off with EasyInArticles, they can take up to a week to approve your article. If your article is in violation of one of their rules, for example, you've done something wrong as far as they're concerned. They will reject your article, and it then goes back to the end of the queue. You have to update it, and you have to wait another 7 days. Now obviously that's a lot of time. So I strongly recommend you make sure you familiarise yourself with these rules and make sure your articles meet their requirements. And if you do that, you won't have any problems at all. Absolutely none at all. So when you've done your articles, if you want to submit them to directories, article-based and e-zine articles are well worth your while submitting to. I would tend to submit manually to somewhere like Go Articles, maybe Article Dashboard, and a couple of others like that. What I would not do is spend hours and hours submitting to every single little article directory out there, because frankly they're not going to get enough traffic to make it worth my while. I'd use an automatic submitter. Just do a search in Google for article submission software. Yeah, I'll do one for you now. Submission software, and you'll see it'll come back with lots of. Here, there's lots and lots of different ones here. Which one you use, if you use one at all, is entirely up to you. There's plenty of them, but basically, you don't do an automatic submission to the major article directories. If you do so, it can mess things up for you. But that's it. Very, very easy, very quick to do. It'll take you about 5 minutes to put an article on here. It's not rocket science. And once you've done that, obviously, you submit it, you wait for it to be approved, and then you start getting traffic. Don't wait for it to be approved before you add more articles. Just keep adding the articles, and then you'll have a constant stream of articles being approved over time. And that's all you need to do. It's very, very simple, very easy to do, and you'll start getting traffic to your site, and from that you'll start earning. And that's article submissions.